Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. Well, has the state of Missouri saved both the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Royals from moving to next door Kansas? The Missouri State Legislature, with a big vote on Thursday morning, June the 5th, the Missouri State Senate, by a vote of 19-13, passing legislation which had bipartisan support to kick in $1.5 billion for the Kansas City Royals and the Kansas City Chiefs in their efforts to, in one case, build a new stadium and, in another case, massively renovate another. Now, what's at stake here? The Kansas City Royals want to build a downtown ballpark, but they wanted some state help. The Kansas City Chiefs want to renovate a massive renovation of Arrowhead Stadium. They want state help. And the legislature had balked at providing that help. You know, that's a very sensitive line, using taxpayers' money to help build a stadium or renovate a stadium when there are more pressing public needs. And obviously you hear the argument about, well, what are we doing helping the billionaires who own these teams? What are we using taxpayer money to do that for? But then you've got another state, in this case next door Kansas, that was more than willing to pony up money to underwrite the cost of stadiums for both the Royals and the Chiefs. So now, what's at play here? The state Senate passed this bill on June the 5th by a count of 19-13. It now goes to the State House for a vote on Monday, and it is expected to be approved by the Republican-controlled State House. And what will happen is, in the case of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs want to renovate Arrowhead Stadium to the tune of $1.15 billion. So that's a massive renovation. And the state legislature is willing to kick in half of that cost. And in the case of the Kansas City Royals, they want to build a downtown ballpark, and now the state will kick in half of the $1.5 billion that was approved. And it's expected, by the way, the governor will sign this into law. So they're going to take the $1.5 billion and split it between the Chiefs and the Royals. Now, it doesn't mean that the issue of either team or both teams moving to Kansas is dead. In fact, the state of Kansas says its offer is on the table to get these teams to move to next door Kansas until June 30th. Then the offer expires. So we have less than a month to decide what the Chiefs and what the Royals are going to do. You probably saw the story. I included it in my Dan on Sports newsletter about the Kansas City Royals purchasing some property in Kansas. And this is an entity controlled by the Royals, purchased some property in Kansas by where a new ballpark would be built. So the saga's not over yet. But the fact is, both the Chiefs and the Royals wanted the state of Missouri to kick in X amount of dollars, and now the state Senate has lived up to what those teams were seeking. The House is expected to pass that on Monday, and the governor is expected to sign it into law. So are the Chiefs and or the Royals going to move to Kansas? Still don't know, but the picture appears clearer that they might stay in the show-me state, the state of Missouri, because at least the state Senate showed them on Thursday. That's going to do it for Dan on Sports. See you later.